Alright, ladies and gents, thank you for stopping by my prediction video. My name is Tyger, one of the casters for the SCL. I want to go ahead and throw down some predictions. Last week, production quality, a little low. My apologies, I've been couch surfing. But, as you can see, the big Tiger, I am home. So, let's go ahead and get on into it. Week 5, Eager versus Aware is the first one up. Eager were completely rock solid last week. 4 straight complete just games, wins. It was a sweep. They're not having any differences in the roster, as far as I know. Aware, they split with Elevate last week. The last time these two teams have fought was in week 3, and Eager 2-0 to Aware. And Aware, they looked really strong in the beginning, sitting at about 3rd right now, while Eager's tied for most wanted in the top spot when it comes to standings. Because of how Eager played last week, and considering Aware couldn't get the 2-0 with Elevate, I'm going to give this 2-0 Eager. They're very close when it comes to standings, but Eager, it's not even a problem with Aware right now. Eager are just looking really nice. Soren Kingdom. I'm going to cause a little bit of debate here. Kingdom Esports came out with a new roster. Zaxi, Fear Decide, Salty Cakes, Joltek, and... Sorry, it's new people. Joltek and Camping Solo. I had Solo written down. I'm like, what? Camping Solo, who is a jungler. Camping Solo. And they put up a really good fight last week. They put up a really good fight. They went up against, let's look in my handy dandy spreadsheet. They went up against Eager, and they lost. But they looked really good while doing it. So, I kind of like them. I like the change. I like the direction they're going, and I'm really hoping Kingdom are going to be able to start clinching some wins. Let me make sure I'm recording, just because I'm always paranoid about that. Alright, there we go. Soar last week. They split with Most Wanted, which is huge for them. Soar sitting at about 5 wins. They're one step up from Kingdom, and they want to continue to keep stepping up if they want to make a name for themselves. It's been a really rough split for them, and they just went a split with one of the top teams. That being said, I'm going to leave this up to you. Me personally, I'm putting a split. I am putting a split because I think Kingdom will be able to take 1 game. I don't think they're going to be able to take 2, but I think they're going to be able to take 1. Or it's going to go Soar Gaming taking both games. So here you see me. I'm putting a split because I believe that Kingdom are going to be able to pull it out. Plus, there may be a roster swap. Not a roster swap, but a sub coming in at least for Soar, from what I've heard. And depending on how that goes, that may be exactly what they need. Or exactly what Kingdom need to slip on in there. But even without the roster swap, even if there is no sub, even if there isn't anything, still giving it 1-1 Kingdom. 1-1 to get Kingdom on the map. Most Wanted elevates. Let's see. Most Wanted split with Soar, as I mentioned earlier. Elevate split with Aware, which is pretty dang good for them at least. They're basically, it's just these steps of trying to climb this ladder. Everybody's one slot below each other. So, this one though, I've got to give to Most Wanted. Even though there's no differences as far as I know in the roster, Most Wanted, in my opinion, are the superior team. They are cohesive. They're a very tight-knit unit. Versus looking at Elevate, the games with Aware were so rocky. It always came down to them capitalizing on one play, and they usually had maybe about 30 seconds to make it work, and both teams just ran with it. It was a very slippery slope for both teams, and I feel like Elevate just aren't there yet when it comes to going against Most Wanted, so 2-0 Wanted. Aware and Kingdom. I know that I put a split with Soar. I don't think they're going to be able to split with Aware. Even if there's no differences, I'm giving this to Aware 2-0. So, Not much to say there. I did all my gushing about Kingdom against Soren, but I don't think they're gonna be able to do it against Soren. Flipping over to the EU side, let's take a look-see. Excellence and Rival. Rival, as you can see with those numbers, are on freaking fire. And this is a rough team for them, rough team for Excellence to go up against, because Rival have 2-0'd Excellence in week 3. They've done it in week 4. And now they're up against them again in week 5. So Excellence have had 2 weeks to try and just step up against this team, and Rival ain't having none of it. Ain't having any of it. So I'm going to give this one 2-0 to Rival. Excellence have gone up against different teams. Let me open up my roster here. Excellence have gone up against teams and split before. They've split against Retribution and they've split against Cyclone. They took a 2-0 against Retribution in week 3 as well before we saw this new roster coming out, which I want to talk about too. Or at least to switch up with the roster. And it hasn't been solid. I'm looking for the words and I'm not finding them. They need to be much, much stronger to take a game off of Rival, and they're not there yet. Retribution. I was so impressed with these guys last week. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Retribution are going up against Cyclone. And I want to talk about this roster. Retribution switched out. Yeah? Jaron was playing ADC. Now is the jungler. Mango, still sitting nice and pretty in the solo. Alexim went right straight on, still playing mid. But they brought in Welsh Priest and they brought in Cobb. And I really liked what they brought to the duo lane. And it changed so much. Not having Minos there. Not having Gitfisher as the jungler. I mean, all they did was just move people around and bring in a new duo lane. But it worked so well. They weren't able to find a win last week. They were up against Cyclone. Oh, no, they were, sorry. They were able to find the wins. They just 2-0'd Cyclone last week. And they completely just blew people's minds. Yeah? So, Cyclone have a chance to go up against them again. But all is not well when it comes to Cyclone at the moment. Looks like there's a lot of switch-arounds. Maybe even role swaps. And because of this, I'm going to give Retribution the 2-0 again. I don't know if Cyclone were spooked last week. I don't know what it was, but there's trouble in paradise. Retribution, in week 3, they went up against Cyclone 0-2. They got 2-0'd. This week, with this roster, they were able to take it, capitalizing on Cyclone's mistakes. It wasn't a super aggressive game. It wasn't a solid game coming out from Retribution, but it was all about the capitalization, and we see some teams that really just flounder with that. And I feel like with some of the swaps coming up, and as this team starts to gain more momentum, starts to gain more synergy, I think we're actually going to see a little bit more coming out from Retribution than we have in the previous weeks. Now, it's week 5. It would have been really nice if this had happened before, but you take what you get, and you use everything that you've learned in the next matches, even if it's not with the same people. So, that being said, the TLDR, Eager 2-0, Soar Kingdom 1-1, Most Wanted 2-0, Aware 2-0, Rival 2-0, Retribution 2-0. It could go split. Cyclone could step up. Maybe the switches would be nice. But they took away a key player, and I don't know what the drama is. I don't know what the reasoning is. I have no idea. I stay out of that. But I look at the rosters for the weeks coming up, and I look at Twitter, and I look at Twitlongers, because it's not official unless it's a Twitlonger, and it just makes me nervous. Taking out a key player, making all these swaps is exactly what Retribution need. And, the same thing coming out with Kingdom. That's exactly what Kingdom need, with Soren possibly bringing in a sub for a key player. So, we'll have to see. Nothing is set in stone until the games are played, and we will see them tomorrow, at least for the NA side, EU, in 2 days. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys Monday.